Hey, beautiful people. Dr. Eve here. Hope all is well. Welcome to another live where we talk about all things living well and building a strong home economy. Today, I have a special vlog for you. I want to help you develop your insurance policy against grocery store dependence. And I know that you're probably saying, well, how do you propose to do that, Dr. Eve? Well, what I have been learning is that there is a entire list of things that you can purchase in various categories that will help you to be more creative in food security without fear, or valuing stored goods, not lost goods, or skill over convenience, right? Because for so long we have been doing convenience, right? We just purchase, we have to be there. We not back to like making our gravy with flour and water and some onions like our grandmas used to do, right? So I'm going to give you a breakdown in a few categories of staple items that you should be putting in your pantry, right? You want to make sure that you are building up things that don't need electricity. They don't panic when the power flickers, and they stretch a dollar quietly. Here's a list of those things. It's not exhaustive, but it is pretty solid. So we're gonna go over that. Fruits and vegetables. These things do not, y'all do not, may I say this again, have to be refrigerated. That is the policy. That is the thing, that the catcher, that is the opt-in, if you will, that makes this list so beautiful. Because what if the grid goes down? What if there is, days without? We're looking at even today with the eye of a huge storm over top of the island of Jamaica. And, they stand the risk of losing a lot of things, right? So when things like this happen and catastrophic conditions is upon us, we want to be able to be in a place where we can survive with things that we not necessarily have to refrigerate. So we're going to go over this list. So I want you to go and grab your pen and your pencil and paper, and let's dive into these items. Category one, which is your fresh fruits and vegetables. Hello there. Welcome to the live. Fresh fruits and vegetables. These are things that do not have to be refrigerated. You want to grab onions, garlic, number two, number three, potatoes and sweet potatoes. I showed you all the other day how many ways can you make potatoes, right? Awesome. That is what we want to do. We want to be thinking outside of the box, right? And having in our pantry the things that we need that do not need to be refrigerated, but we can multiply to feed our families. So that's potatoes and sweet potatoes. You have winter squash. One of the things I grew was a butternut squash. Just kind of volunteered into my garden this year. I wasn't planting no squash because squash bugs just frustrate the mess out of me. But baby, them butternut squash are huge. And so they last up to 6 months in your pantry. So that's winter squash, butternut squash, acorn squash, or spaghetti squash. Another thing that we often think has to go in the refrigerator is apples, and they absolutely do not. Just put them in a cool, dry place. Another thing is citrus, lemons, oranges, grapefruit. They do not need to be refrigerated. You do need to be using them because they will, if you don't put them in a cool place, they will begin to develop mold on them. So another thing is dried peppers, dried herbs. Of course, I have banana stalk water, so it stays fresh at room temperature if it's sealed. So I will be using my stock water from my bananas and to save it for emergency use. What are some pantry staples that you can put inside your pantry, right? Rice, lots of rice. White stores longer than the brown, so there is a difference. You want to make sure you're getting beans. Beans are not only a good staple crop, but let's think about beans. Beans can be um, powered down to be flour. They can be you can be in dishes cold or hot. You can also grow more beans with beans. So that's a definite food secure item. Lentils and split peas are definitely a staple that you should have that does not need to be refrigerated. Also, pasta, things like grits and cornmeal. You know, my grandma used to make that cornmeal. She would mix up some cornmeal and water and to that black skillet, baby, and put some oil in it, and we'd have some good old fresh cornbread, right? And so you want to make sure that you have these items because you can cook these things in a little skillet right outside if you are camping. I'm gonna begin to show y'all some of the things that I've been doing because it's important to practice in case there is catastrophic conditions and you're not just trying to figure it out, right? So you want to be practicing. How do you take grandma used to say takes nothing and make something, right? Go in there, open that cupboard, take nothing and make something, okay? Because that's how we were taught. Another thing you want to have staple is oats. These are your pantry staples now. You want to have oats in your cabinet as well. Oats can make even oat milk, right? So check that out, right? Who often thinks about that? Because you can crush that, you can blend it down to powder, put some water in it, and baby, you got some good old oat milk. All right. So flour, whole wheat will spoil faster. So rotate or freeze if storing it long term. Okay. So those are a few of your pantry staples. The other category is your canned and jarred. You can can and jar all canned vegetables. So any canned vegetables that you can find, buy them. Canned fruits, canned tuna, sardines. We love sardines around here, so and tuna. So because that's a quick put it with some eggs, some egg and tuna salad, and slap it on some bread. And even if you don't have bread, you can make bread. But you can put it on a nice, you can put it on some crackers. You know, you can make crackers from flaxseed. Did you know that? So, yeah, so all canned fruits, canned tuna, sardines, and salmon are good staples for your canned and jars. Canned chicken, also broth and soup, store bought or homemade. Last year, so I'm excited about this year because I love to make turkey broth. It's turkey time. So what I'm going to be doing, it's time to cook turkeys now. So thank you so much, Brandon Sneed. So it's time for me to cook up turkeys, cook up whatever, because it's that season. These things that are on sale. Remember, we're always talking about on this channel that if you eat with the season, if this is turkey season, this is the time for those of you who are building your pantries to make sure that you are cooking. You cook that turkey down to the bone, right? Because even the bone becomes good snacks that you break off for your chickens because it will literally crumble once you cook it down for 48 hours, y'all. I made the best turkey broth last year and I'm still using it because that's a canned item. It's an item that I canned in jars, and now I have a bunch of canned, um, jarred turkey broth that I can use in things like I did yesterday in my chicken soup that I made. And I didn't want to use those little bouillon cubes, so I used in my turkey broth. And it was some kind of good. You hear me? All right, another thing canned good that you can use is tomato paste and sauce and stewed tomatoes. If you didn't get fresh tomatoes this season, then get you some tomato paste because tomato paste also makes tomato sauce. Tomato paste will also make tomato sauce because it's concentrated. So I always stock up on tomato paste, right? Okay, the next shelf, and also you want to get your shelf stable nut milk unopened, right? Um, Even your Dollar Tree has milk, y'all, in the cartons. If don't open it, just stock it. Just stock it because it's going to be milk that you can use in a later time. Also, don't forget dry milk, y'all. Dry milk is what we grew up on as kids, right? Because we grew up in survival mode most of the time. So we know about cooking on kerosene heaters and cooking without gas and boiling water to take baths and all of those things. So and I don't see it as a misfortune in this time. I see it as a way of I have built in resilience. Okay. So that is something that you want to start putting in your pantry. Another thing we're going to talk about, let's go to the category of proteins and fats. Remember, none of this stuff needs to be refrigerated, y'all. Okay? Peanut butter, almond butter, sunflower butter. If you are not allergic to these things, then stock up on them. As a matter of fact, you can make peanut butter out of peanuts. You can grow some peanuts, right? I'm going to try my hand at peanuts this year. I'm big on trying new things. Other things you want, staples you want to put in your cabinet is nuts and seeds. Store them in a cool place or freeze long term, right? If you have a place, we got to start thinking outside of the box, y'all. How did the Amish do this thing? They don't depend on no refrigeration. So we got to start looking at the research and on how others have survived in these catastrophic conditions. Another thing is shelf stable tofu because now I never heard of that, but y'all, I'm gonna check it out. That could be you could can it, you could buy it and can it, you could buy it and can it. Shelf stable tofu, because that's what that really means. Because tofu comes in a cool package, it's in the refrigeration area. But you can also take it, prepare if you like tofu, get your stock and stock it up by way of canning it. Coconut oil is another one that you want to stock up on because it has multi purposes, including health benefits, right? Food benefits, health benefits, um, health care or beauty care benefits, a lot of benefits in coconut oil. Also, olive oil. You want to make sure you have some good stock on that. And also, I never heard of this one, but I'm seeing it for the first time. Is shelf stable um, G ghee. I don't know what that is though, but it's on my list of proteins and fats. So it's something that I need to check out to see if it's viable for me. The next category is going to be dry snacks and quick energy food, right? I love popcorn kernels. Popcorn you can also plant, y'all. You can plant and get more corn, right? So popcorn kernels, trail mix, crackers. You want to stay away from the microwave popcorn because the fats in that really are not good for you. Hello, Yanni's channel. So you want to check out how you because we used to cook on the stove. We used to pop our popcorn. Y'all remember Jiffy pop popcorn? You put it on the stove and it comes in a big old aluminum. And when it started popping, it will pop up into this big old bowl, aluminum bowl. Y'all too young for that. Okay. Y'all too young for that. But that's how we cooked our popcorn on the stove, right? And we also cooked it in pots. We would cook them kernels in a pot, like put some little oil down there in the pot, put that popcorn down in there, baby, that top, and watch it so it don't burn move that pot around and cook and make us some popcorn. So that is another thing. It's possible for you to do these things. It's just we going to be doing them differently, right? And we want to practice, right, for our families, right? Because you don't know where you will be. You might have to run to the hill, okay? Might have to put it in your snack bag, in your backpack, or wherever you're going to put it. But it is indeed a survival food because it's very fibrous, right? So it will hold you. Trail mix, you want to put crackers. Now, those crackers you want to rotate because they will get stale, right? But I do recommend just making some fresh batches of crackers right from your flax seeds, your lentils. You can make crackers out of that, right? So you can make fresh crackers, but that's a staple food. You do not have to refrigerate. Dry fruits like raisins and dates and apricots, those are dry. Keep those things that you can't, like I freeze dry a lot of my fruits, but these are items that I can also quickly store up, right, on my shelf. So I want to be able to have some of those while I'm continuing to build my own fresh fruits that don't have any preservatives, any additives, nothing, nothing, nothing in them. Okay. So that is another dry snack for quick energy. Another thing is jerky, like store bought or dehydrated. You can make your own, through dehydrator or freeze dryer. So that's another category, dry snacks and for quick energy. Spices and flavoring. Spices and flavoring. Number one, salt. Salt lasts a while, so stock up on it, right? Sugar. I don't like sugar, so I have sweeteners, but stock up on some sugar anyway. You might have to make some jam. You might have a need for it with your plants because sometimes it boosts the life of your plants when you're growing as well. Like I will put it in a yeast mix. You also can put it in your bread, but you don't have to. You can do things without sugar. Sugar is a silent, you know, so you don't want to be using a lot of sugar, but it is a staple for those of you who want to use it sparingly, right? Honey. Honey is another one that you want to make sure that you stock up on because honey is also going to be hard to get because that the way the climate, the way the ecosystem is right now, it makes it really hard for bees to stay alive. And if the bees aren't around, then they can't make the honey. So like I have a whole honey bee heart. I have a whole bee pollinating garden, right? And so my daughter said, Mom, the way the bees stay around, I can go out there right now and there's still bees. You know why? Because it's sunflowers out there. There are flowers still out there. So they still trying to get their last life before they go to sleep. Okay. Or before they go into whatever you call it, hibernation, because that's something I want to do is I'm going to be studying over the winter about beekeeping because that is something that I have a goal for. So you want to have honey, you want to have vinegar, soy sauce, soy sauce, hot sauce, bouillon or seasoning cubes. Like bouillon, remember I told you turkey is time for turkey, chicken, ham, but all the meats can create bouillon, so you create your bouillons, okay? Shelf stable. Um, Again, dried herbs and spice blends. If you're growing herbs, make sure you're dehydrating them or drying them. They don't have to be dehydrated. Our grandmothers didn't have dehydrators, they had drying racks, right? So I do all methods, drying racks outside. I also hang them up in bundles. I also put them in dehydrators and also freeze dry them. So those are my methods. And finally, some other homestead anchors that you want to think about is your home canned goods, right? Make sure you stock up on that. Your dehydrated vegetables, your freeze dried meals, and your dried soup mixes in jars. These, absolutely. I am the unbroken genetic line. I'm the carrier of the unbroken genetic line. Everything comes from me. Without me, there, what? So, anyway, just wanted to share that and thank you for allowing me to grace. Um, the other thing that you want to also think about is fermented foods like sauerkraut, right? Sauerkraut can sit out while fermenting, but store it in a cool place after that. Okay, so for those of you who got your pens and pencil, that is your insurance policy. That is your insurance policy against grocery food markets independence, because these items can be used to stretch. These items can be used to create meals, right? So, in this current climate that we're living in, I think it's critically important for us to share with our neighbors who may be feeling, a little insecure about what's next for them. And so I am highly blessed to be able to come and share what I do to stay out of the markets, because we over here we are the grow your own economy community, by an economy is how we trade, how we sell, how we build, how we grow, all the things, how we build our businesses, and all the things that make our home economy strong. I'm Dr. Eve. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hello from Andhra Pradesh. Thank you so much for gracing me with your presence. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I am headed out to the garden to do an observation because it has been raining, and I'm sure my Roselle hibiscus is probably laying on the ground because they drink water and they become robust. So, thank you so much for being here. I'm Dr. Eve. Bye for now.